good people of the Grove? It's growth group time. We're in Luke 17. If you are an adult or a teenager and you're behind, fret not. And at the same time, it's no time like the present to just get caught up. And so if you can, meet with your growth group. If you're not in a growth group, get in a growth group. Jump into Luke 17. Next time we do this, it'll be Luke 18. We're working through the book of Luke here in 2022, and we'll finish that by year's end. So I would encourage you to read and to get with the Lord and ask Him again these three main questions. What does this reveal about who God is? What's His character? What are the specific things being revealed here about God? What are the specific things being revealed in this passage about me or about humanity? And then what are some specific things that I must do as a result, just out of this passage? This is a long chapter, split up into 5 different sections. And so, we could be asking these questions a lot, but we're going to simplify it, hopefully take a big picture or a 30,000 foot picture of this whole thing, and then you can chase whatever rabbit you feel like you need to chase according to the Spirit's leading. So what is this passage, what does this chapter, Luke 17, reveal about God? Well, I had to really limit myself to keep it to 3 because there was a lot here, but I think it's this, right? Jesus is the Son of Man. He says the Son of Man will come, and this is what it's going to be like. He's talking about Himself. How else would He know what the Son of Man will do or what it will look like if He wasn't Him? And He could. This is the only way you can predict the future if you're Him. And so if you go back to Daniel chapter 7, you see the coming of the Son of Man being promised through Israel and ultimately as the Messiah. And so Jesus is referring to Himself here. He is the Son of Man. That's what this reveals about God first. And then kind of 1A or number 2 is He's coming back. Let's not get lulled to sleep here into thinking that He is not going to return. Jesus will return. And though Revelation 21 is absolutely true, where He says He will make all things new, He, number 3, is going to bring a reckoning for sin. This passage is very clear that we are to forgive one another, but that God is going to come back and He is going to have a reckoning for sin. He will judge us, and He is ultimately going to do so according to our works, which is what non-believers will get judged by, or according to His work, which is what believers will be judged on. But He will come back and He will bring with Him a reckoning for sin. Jesus is God. He's the Son of Man. He's coming back and He's going to judge humanity. We need to be prepared for that, and that ultimately leads us into what does this reveal about who we are? Well, again, I think for us, if Jesus is the Son of Man, here's the reality is, like the disciples right there in verses 5 and 6, it talks about how the disciples want more faith. Increase our faith, they say. I think that reveals something about us, and that is we want something to look a certain way when in fact Jesus has already given us certain things. It's His disciples, I believe, that are asking Him, hey, increase our faith. They've already got faith. It's although small, like so small it doesn't even cover the size of a mustard seed. And Jesus will promise them, and if you just have that little much faith, you don't even need a lot. You're actually asking for the wrong thing. What you probably need to be focused on is activating what God has already given you. And so we want big things. We want more things. That's in our hearts. I think also we can never outserve God. That third little section right there where it talks about the unworthy servant, right? Where it talks about, if I could look at the scriptures here, right? Yeah, it says unworthy servants. We're to be unworthy servants. I think I was just looking at the words there. We never get to the point in our walk where we walk into the house, as Jesus says, and we then demand to be served by Him. I don't know what your life is like. I don't know what your prayer life is like, but I'm wondering, at least I know I'm convicted even as I talk about this and have wondered through this. I've just been in a season of pleading with God to be near, to present Himself, to be present with me, and to provide. Like I've had a lot of prayers that are just asking God for things. And when He is slow to provide or doesn't provide in the way that I had hoped, I then will start to play the "but you owe me, God" card. And man, this is a firm rebuke here in Luke 17 that God never owes us. We are but unworthy servants in His kingdom, and we don't even deserve to be there. But we have a heart that demands more, don't we? So that's number two. The third thing that I think is revealed about us is like the lepers. There's 10 lepers that are healed. Only one turns back to show gratitude, and it's the Samaritan. It's not who you would expect in the story. And I think what I sense in that is that familiarity breeds contempt. So not only does it breed this desire to want to be served by God, but it also breeds contempt that, oh yeah, of course He did that for me. That's what He should do for me. But the Samaritan doesn't have that expectation. He's not familiar with those covenants, promises. Instead, he's been excluded. And the one that has sinned much is forgiven much, and the one who's forgiven much has much gratitude. And I need to realize that I am like a Samaritan. I have sinned much. The more I realize my sin, the more gratitude I have for God's ultimate, deep, beautiful mercy towards me. So that's number three, is that I can become familiar with God's forgiveness. And when I'm familiar with it, I just grow contempt with it. I certainly it's entitled. It's an entitlement to God's forgiveness. Oh, of course He does that. He's the Son of God. Of course He forgives me. Man, may I never slip into that, and may Jesus continue to rebuke me by His Spirit and His Word. And I pray the same for you. All right, finally, what does it say about God? What does it say about me? What must I do as a result? Number one, if Jesus is the Son of God, if Jesus is coming back, if Jesus is going to make a reckoning for sin, get ready. That's what He says in the last part of this chapter. Like, it's going to be normal. And normal life is going to be carrying on when He comes. It's going to be like the days of Noah. It'll be like Lot when he's escaped Sodom. When they got onto the ark, there was drinking, there was eating, there was marrying. Normal life was happening. Jesus is telling us, though, get ready. There's not going to be this crazy sign until it's too late. And then you'll see Him like lightning across the sky. Everyone will know. And when you see that, it'll be too late to prepare. Prepare today. Jesus' return is imminent. That's number one. Number two, I need to practice gratitude. I need to have a journal of gratitude. I need to practice gratitude. And the question I had for that really is like, where are you from? The Samaritan, he was from Samaria, and that's where a lot of his gratitude came from. Where am I from? Man, I'm from a sinful place, and I need to show my gratitude towards Him. And then finally, I think this can all be summarized in these realities, right? We prepare for the kingdom in these specific ways. Number one, through faith, through exercising our faith, just even if it's the small as a mustard seed, through forgiving others, through those that may cause us to sin and may sin against us. We are a people that the kingdom comes through us when we forgive one another, when we show gratitude towards our God, and through preparing and being ready. I hope this is helpful for you. I hope that in your growth groups, whether it be teen growth groups or adult growth groups, you can sift through the material. Ultimately, you may ask these same questions as you come through. What does this say about God? What does it say about me? What must I do as a result? And really focusing on the character of God who comes back to judge us, who comes back quickly, and ultimately will reign and rule, make all things new, but make a reckoning as well. We need a God who will make a reckoning. We don't want a God who will just wink at sin. We need a God who will judge it and do so from a perfect righteousness from which we have a trust that He'll do. Hope this is helpful for you. Love you, and we'll see you soon.